Hey you guys, it's your girl AJ, the Glamour Witch, and I am back for another video. Now I am here in my new space. I just moved into a new place, and so I am in moving clothes, but I wanted to do this video because I feel like it's very important for us to start 2022 with some very necessary information, and that is how to identify scammers in our community. Now, we all know that as the popularity of this community starts to rise across all platforms, there are a lot of people that were going to come in and infiltrate it and be false and fake and phony. But on top of that, scammers who are looking to make an easy and quick buck, and people who just want the attention that these creators and these business owners already have and try to siphon their followers to get money or notoriety or whatever it is that they think they're getting out of it. It's important for you to know exactly how to identify the difference between a scammer and the original content creator. And I'm going to show you that today. Now, if you are watching this on any platform and this is not the handle, you are on a scammer's account watching and viewing their content. Now, I doubt that they were going to post this video because it's not very good scamming if you're posting this video. But if it does not link you back to my YouTube channel where you can watch the full video of this, I promise you, it is not me, and you should block and report that page and that account as soon as possible. So if you want to learn more, just keep watching.
Come and cast a spell with me. Come and cast a spell with me.
So first things first, as we know, there are a lot of people that are coming into this community, and it's amazing. It's great. A lot of people are having their spiritual awakenings, I guess, and deciding that they want to branch out and try something new. I think it's beautiful to see people trying to learn and expose themselves to the old way, which is such a powerful thing, and I think it brings us together, but it also comes with a lot of extra BS. And I'm not going to get into a long rant about, new people versus the OGs. I'm not going to do that because that's not what this video is about. But I do want to let you know that with the broad attention, it's nothing new that there are scammers and con artists in this community. That's something that we've always been dealing with. People always thinking that whatever we're doing, we're, making it up to get money out of people, tricking people into reading their fortune to get money out of them. It's not something new that we haven't had to deal with. But now in this technological age, people can actually take content creators' faces and their page and everything that they've created and built for themselves and market it as though they are that content creator and scam their followers out of their hard-earned money. And that's just not cool. I know for me, I have dealt with that a lot. I have a new page pretending to be me coming up every month, every week. And a lot of my followers find these pages and will send me the updates. And it's just too many pages to keep up with. And I just want to first start off by saying the first rule of thumb that you want to keep in mind is, please, if you can refrain from messaging the original content creator and letting them know that somebody is copying their page, I guarantee you there are 100 other people in their DMs saying the exact same thing as you. Please don't flood their DMs telling them like, oh, somebody's scamming you, and sending them screenshots and all sort of stuff, because they're not going to actually have time to get to people who have actual questions or inquiries, or maybe who have questions about their orders or anything else that are going on in their personal business or in their life or on their page. Don't flood their DMs letting them know that someone is scamming them or whatever the case may be. Now, if it's some extraordinary situation or if it's something unique, maybe you want to send it. But if it's just to tell them that there's somebody out there pretending to be them, trust me, I promise you, we know. We know, and there's absolutely nothing that we can do about it. Furthermore, I'd like to speak on the fact that a lot of the pages, a lot of the platforms that are out there, especially Instagram, does nothing to protect anyone, especially in our community, from people who are pretending to be us online. There is no protection for us. So you telling us that somebody is copying us does nothing. It really just allows you to vent about whatever happened to you, and for us to just kind of sit there and be like, I'm sorry that that happened. So it's not really something that we can fix or change, and the apps are not getting any better in supporting us and being able to make those changes. So just keep that in mind before you send us a DM telling us that there's someone out there pretending to be us. One of the key ways to identify a scammer is if a scammer reaches out to you. If your favorite content creator that has thousands and hundreds of thousands and maybe 1 million followers is reaching out to you directly in your DMs to ask you if you want a reading or a service from them, that is the number one way to identify that this person is not who they say they are. Let me explain to you why. The first reason is you need to understand that as a practitioner, as a healer, as a tarot card reader, as a just person who is maybe on here to teach, not to provide service, but to just make content and to just share their practice with you. We do not have time, nor do we desire to go into our follow list and individually message every single follower asking them if they would like a reading. Our best bet, especially if we have a high following on any of our social media platforms, is to post about it on our timelines and in our stories, to let anyone who is interested in following us find those posts and come to us. The second reason is because we don't want to bombard our load or overdo our work schedule by asking all 17,000 or 150,000 followers if they want a reading from us and to share our prices and our services. We don't have time for that, and nor do we want to tap into that many people's energy. It is a very, very dangerous thing to just welcome any and all energies and people. Just like it's dangerous for you to go and accept any reading from any old reader. You need to make sure that you have a connection with that reader, so that way when you get that reading, you feel like it's serving you. So we are not going to reach out to you directly to let you know, hey, would you like to get a reading with us? What we're going to do is we're going to make a post letting everyone know that these readings are available, what our prices are, and then send you somewhere where you can actually book online with us. That is the best and the most professional way to purchase an item or a service or to get a reading with us. Otherwise, it is not a real professional. Now, I do know people who will allow people to reach out to them via DM, but they will have you reach out to them about getting a reading. They're not going to send you a unsolicited message about a reading and have you going back and forth in the DMs. Just keep in mind that that is not the best way to have a service and to get things working, especially when you don't get to, one, verify if it's really them. You can't hear their voice, you can't see their face, and it's just a message out of nowhere when you have no relationship with this content creator. There's no reason why any content creator would be reaching out to a follower, especially a follower that just recently followed them. That is how it works, because they're going on the follow list and they're picking the most recent followers and going down the list, right? So if you just recently followed this person, or you just recently found them, or you were searching for them, then that scammer, whoever the case may be, is going to pick the most recent people and try to poach them. So just be aware, be weary of getting any direct messages from content creators unless there is a giveaway or something of that nature and they said, hey, everyone check your DMs, or they say, I'm going to be sending the winner or the person who, whatever the case may be, I'll be sending out DM messages. If they don't specify that that's how they're going to be communicating with you, I guarantee you that is a scammer communicating with you in your DMs. Next, you want to check the follow list. If your content creator, your favorite content creator, maybe you found them on YouTube, maybe you found them on TikTok, maybe you found them on Instagram, if their follow list seems a little low or just is not, it does not really add up, it's like 100 or 1,000 or something like that followers, question it. Be very hesitant. And go and Google that person's name, that content creator's name, and find out if there's any other content creators or any other usernames with that exact same tag. click on them, and whoever has the highest and the most amount, typically that is the original content creator. It takes a lot more time and effort to get to that highest peak than it does for somebody who just came around on the back end to scam people. Now, again, I've seen some scam pages where they have 6,000 and the follower and the content creator has 10 and 15K, which is a lot if you think about it for a scammer to be able to attract that many followers. So this person has got a lot of headway. Or potentially what could be the case is that person already had 6,000 and somehow changed their profile and was able to keep those followers. So just keep in mind that people do shady things, and if you want to identify them, their follow list is a really great way to be able to see if they're on some bullshit. Next, and this one is a really, really important one, and I really want you guys to pay attention to this. Check the dates of their posts. Typically, when a person is making a scammer account or a copycat account, they will go and download or upload all the videos that they can from typically TikTok or whatever other platform that they can get. And they will upload them all at the same time or within the same 48 to 72 hours region, right? If this content creator has been making content for years, why would their posts be so recent and all together? You need to check the dates on the posts, okay? That is going to help you identify if this person is genuine. Another way to identify if it's a scammer is if they have cut off their comment section, or if they have no likes, no comments, nothing, right? Because typically what will happen is as soon as people start to identify that this person is a scammer, they'll go into the comment section and start trying to alert people. And so that person will have to go in and delete those comments, or they have to turn off their comment section completely. It doesn't benefit an actual content creator to turn off their comment section or to not have likes on their page. That's how they gain their following. That's how they gain their recognition. And that's how they get their posts boosted in the algorithm. Why would they cut off their comments? Now, if they didn't just recently have some scandal or whatever the case may be, you'd at least see their likes. If they don't have any likes, or they have very few likes on their posts, that some of these posts are from a long time ago, then I would be weary of following or allowing any of these people to follow you, especially giving any of them of your money or your time. Another way to identify a scammer is if you never see them go live on any of their platforms, if you've never seen their face on a story. Of course, a scammer can't go live on their page because they're not the actual person. They can't sit in front of the camera and start talking to their followers and answering questions and doing live readings and talking about magic if they know their face doesn't match up with the profile. Do they even have any saved IGTV lives or saved live videos that they've done? Have you ever seen them go live even one time? Do they even talk about it? Can you message them and ask them, when are you going live next? If the answer is no, I guarantee you they're not who they say they are. Especially if they don't post anything on their story. Now, it's not abnormal for people to not want to show their face in this practice. Some people are private. But most of the time, people will be very consistent with their story posts to update you on what's going on and anything new that's happening in their world and in their realm. If they're not even updating on a consistent basis in real time, meaning on their story, I can guarantee you they're not the original content creator. Another way to identify if you're dealing with a scammer is to see the links in the bio line of any of the profiles. Now, a lazy scammer is just going to copy and paste whatever is in the bio of the original content, just so that no one's thrown off the scent. But if there's no link to take you to the content creator's other platforms or website or other types of offers, it's just it's just a generic bio and that's it. DM me for readings. It's probably a fake account. Actually, it is a fake account. Most professionals will have a link at least to their Cash App or something that will tie you to other platforms. They want you to be able to follow them across platforms. It benefits the content creator to do that. Now, if you are a content creator and you're not doing that, I encourage you to start doing that. You want to get as many of your followers to come across platforms to interact and engage with the work that you're doing. This benefits them. So why would they not have links to the other things that could, one, put more money in their pocket, educate and inspire and encourage their following and their followers to get involved whatever they're doing and get excited about the work they're doing, and also prove that they are who they say that they are. If there's no links to take you anywhere else, can they really say that they're the actual content creator who's been around for years, who's been building their brand and their following and really putting out creative material that is not only worth watching, but that has gotten them enough attention that someone will want to copy them? There's no links in the bio. It ain't really them, period. I remember one time, but you also have to be careful about this too, because some scammers will put the links of that original content creator in their bio. I've had a scammer who put my Linktree link, which I don't have a Linktree anymore. I use Snapfeed. Put my link in their bio, which was kind of weird, because then when people would go to the link in their bio, they would come to my website, my page, they would pay for my services through the app, and I would get the following and the traction. So it didn't really help them all in all. And I think that the reason why they eventually took it down, and eventually I think that their page got reported and it got taken down, is because people were going to the links to book readings with me. People were going to the links to buy my candles. People were going to the links to sign up for my classes. People were going to the links to see when I was going to be posting and what new YouTube video was up for them to go view. And they were realizing that the link was actually the thing that was stopping them from getting the money. So they stopped putting my link in it. But people will put the links that they see the main content creator put in their bio, just to throw people off the scent and make them believe like, oh, see, there's a link in the bio. See, it's safe. It's the real link. So just make sure that you're paying attention to all of the accumulative things, not just the link in the bio. But that is one way to identify whether or not somebody is fake and phony. Lazy scammers are not going to put the link. They're not going to go the extra mile to do all that. And really skilled scammers and professional scammers will put the link in the bio of the original content creator just to make you think that they're legit. So you're going to have to be a smart consumer. Okay. Another way to identify a scammer is if you ask to do a phone call reading, or if you ask to do a FaceTime and they say that they do not do that and cannot do that with you. Now, most of the time people will do readings, and they will do a reading either through FaceTime, or they'll do something over the phone, or they'll do a recorded reading. A recorded reading will at least have the person's voice. That'll be a great way to indicate whether or not this person actually is that person. You can tell when somebody's voice is not the actual original creator's voice, right? So if they're not even willing to show their face, or at least call you up on the phone, maybe their camera doesn't work, whatever the case may be, but they could at least call you on the phone and talk to you, right? And if they're doing a video recorded reading, you should be able to compare their voices to the content that they've created. But a scammer isn't going to do that, because a scammer does not want to throw anyone off, because the second that you hear their voice and they have a twang, or they sound like they're foreign, and you know that the person that you follow is American, or they sound like they have some type of a, lisp or something, and you ain't never heard that content creator have a lisp in their life, yeah, that money that they're trying to get out of you is evaporated. So I would ask, if you're going to get a tarot reading or a service, hey, is there any way, if that's something that they do, because not all readers and practitioners will allow you to do that, because some people just don't have time, and that's a lot of energy exchange to be on the phone with someone. But most of the time they will at least do a recorded reading for you, and you'll be able to hear their voice. it's actually a lot more work for you to do a tarot reading and then type it out. Type out every little individual thing. That's actually more complicated. And if you're doing that and you're a legitimate tarot reader or whatever the case may be, man, there are so much simpler ways to be able to handle readings, and it does not have to be that complicated. It also helps us to make sure that people are being treated well, and it also makes sure that there is integrity in your practice when people are able to, one, hear you shuffle the cards, hear you pray to your spirits, right? Hear the music in the background playing, whatever. Like, you're a real person and not a robot. These things are a lot of the ways that we are able to connect to our spirit guides. And for people to be able to hear that we're doing this work is also part of the way that they feel connected to us. Hearing that person's voice and being able to tap into them, like, also helps us get better messages and readings. So just pay attention. Everyone is different with their practice. Everyone's way of going about, delving into the messages is going to be different, but there is a consistent through line that is there. And if something feels off to you, you need to trust your intuition about it, because it's never going to steer you wrong. Another thing that I think is important to think about is if somebody messages you and says like, hey, are you interested in a reading? Find out where this person is located. What state do they say that they're in? Now, of course, somebody could lie and say like, oh yeah, I'm in New York, and you know that content creator is in New York. But if the person says like, oh, I'm in Milwaukee or I'm in Chicago, and their literal tag says Los Angeles, I'm talking about me now. If somebody contacts you via IG or TikTok or whatever the case may be, telling you that they're from New York or they're in New York, and my literal tag says the Glamour Witch LA, hello, winner chicken dinner, it is not me. Okay, like, let's be real. And again, a lot of content creators will not share what state that they're in out of their own protection, and that's fine. Whatever, I don't give a fuck. I live in LA. I'm an artist. I'm a singer, a professional singer. Of course I live in LA. It's not that big of a deal. Be living in LA doesn't necessarily mean that I can't travel someplace else and be somewhere else for work. But if you ask them where they're located, where their shop is located, whatever the case may be, and it's different than what they have in their actual name, what y'all think? The Glamour Witch La? Some of y'all be reading my handle and think it says the Glamour Witch La. No, baby, not La, LA, okay? Los Angeles. My God. If you're not located in the same state as the creator, it's a pretty good chance that they're not the actual original content creator. These are just a few ways to identify scammers, but ultimately you're going to want to tap into your discernment and your intuition. And that takes me into my next and final part of this video, which is to remind you how important it is to not just identify scammers who are out there pretending to be your favorite content creators, but content creators who are scamming you with their entire existence, professing to do these practices and be about this life, and really are out here sending people into the literal gutter with them, who are really only interested in the fame and the notoriety and the likes and the attention that they're going to get from being hyper spiritual or bragging about whatever spell jar ritual that they know that somebody else doesn't know, which we've all done a million spell jars. It's no shade to spell jars. I love a good spell jar, but that seems to be the bulk of what a lot of witches in this community know how to do. And I'm just like, wow. The point that I'm making is that this community has changed a lot. And it's changed a lot since the time that I stepped into the path and into the craft. And in a lot of ways, it's been a blessing, because for the first time, we're getting an opportunity to be on the world stage and be appreciated and heard and respected in a way that we weren't before. For the first time, we could actually openly profess to be witches and practitioners and healers and occultists and not be burned at the stake. But with that comes a lot of pretenders. And I need for you guys to remember that you cannot give your power away to me or any other person online or any other creator. Your highest and most beneficial teacher is always going to be your higher self, your intuition, and your spiritual team. If you cannot discern between people who are creating a false persona to reel you in for views and likes, and somebody who actually has wisdom and knowledge and love and actual healing to provide to you, you will get got 100% of the time. Every single day, seems like now every single month, there is a content creator being outed for actually being not only a fake, but actually a horrible person behind the scenes. I'm somebody who I will give people a chance to be who they want to be with me. And then as soon as you show me who you are, I'm gonna remember that. And if it's really ugly, I'm going to block your ass out of my life and never let you back in. Like, it's that simple. You know, you only have so many times to play with me. You know, it's the fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. Bitch. There are too many people in this community that are pretending. And it's not about having the most spiritual and being the most knowledgeable and reading the most books and doing the most spells and being the most powerful witch. That's not what it's about. It's not. When I came into this practice, I didn't come into this practice so that I could be a online internet witch talking down to everyone and expecting everyone to praise me like a goddess. I came into the practice because I felt called, my soul felt called to this way of life. It felt like I had finally realized and recognized who I was, that the person that I had always been from the time that I came on this planet. I finally figured out who I was, and I had been holding my breath the entire time. And when I found it, I could breathe again. There was peace in my spirit. And although there has been challenges and there has been struggles and there has been trauma that I have had to work through as a result of being so disconnected with who I was, I wouldn't trade this way of life and I wouldn't trade this practice for anything in the world. It has enlightened me not only to myself, but what life can be and how amazing life can be. But there are people who will take advantage of you. And it breaks my heart to see that my followers are getting taken advantage of. It really does. And there's nothing that I can do about it. But tell you guys what to do, how to identify these individuals, and to really just beg you, please, use discernment. Trust your intuition. Do not give your power away to me or any content creator. We are not your God. We are not your spiritual team. We may be able to impart wisdom and information and give you guidance and maybe give you messages from your spirit guide and pass along things here and there. But you do not serve us. You do not worship us. And if you know what is best for you, if you know what is good for you, you are always going to make sure that you take whatever information that you get, and before you go and believe that word is God, word that it is Bible, you're going to put it on the shelf. You're going to go do your own research, and you're going to see if you can corroborate that information. Now, it's not for you to then go back to that content creator and go in their comment section and try to rebuttal them every time they make a video like, oh, well, my research, this is this. That's not what that means. It means for you to take the information and be appreciative that somebody is putting their practice out in the open to share with you and to maybe give you some inspiration or encouragement or to teach you something that you didn't know. And if that does not resonate with you in your spirit and in your heart and your soul, and there's something about that doesn't feel right, for you to take that information, not throw it all away, but to shelve it, come back to it later, and go find out for yourself if that's really true. Cross-reference through books and other content creators and things that you find along the way, but ultimately it is always going to be your intuitive wisdom that is going to be the end all be all for any questions that you may have. That's where the answer is truly going to come from. There is not a single reader, guru, master, practitioner, priestess, priest out there who can tell you above your own intuitive wisdom what it is that you should do and how it is that you should apply your magic in this realm. And anyone who professes to be able to know better than you and your spirit guides and your ancestors what it is that you should be doing in your practice, yeah, not only is that person like someone you should not be listening to, but also run in the opposite direction. And I've said this many times on my channel, and I will continue to say it. I know a lot about a little. And that little bit that I have to share with you as I grow and learn and transform in my practice, I share with kindness, I share with love, and I share for your empowerment and your elevation. Not to lord the information over you and say, well, if you really want it, you have to come, you have to do all these things for me. Because whatever information that I may have is available. And I may have some unique takes and spins on the way I perceive magic and the way that I work my magic. And that might be something that really calls to you and resonates with you. But that's the reason why you follow people. That's the reason why you say, I subscribe. That's the reason why you want to buy their products. Because they have something unique and different. They bring a unique flavor into the practice that is like nothing else. But it doesn't make them better than you. It doesn't make them more valuable than you. It doesn't make them more important than your own intuitive wisdom. And you have to hold that with you throughout your entire practice. Because time and time again, you will be disappointed to find that some of your favorite content creators are actually horrible people. And some of them aren't even magical. That part is the real fucked up part, is when you find out that some of these content creators are not actually practicing magic. Behind the scenes, they're not doing any magic. They're not casting spells. They don't know anything about it. You go into their space, they have some vibey, witchy aesthetic in a certain area of their home, but then the rest of their space is like, you wouldn't know that they practice magic in any capacity. Or it's all vibe and aesthetic. But if you were to ask them a question or try to do a ritual with them or look at their, books or whatever it is they're working on, it would be crickets. Because they're not. They're latching on to whatever TikTok trend or Instagram trend or whatever they see on YouTube and regurgitating the same information that everyone else is talking about for the views. Pay attention. Because those people can't last very long. They can't last long. When you're up against content creators who actually have original content, who have creative things to impart, who have unique, one-of-a-kind energy and spirit to bring into this world, you can't compete with that. Because there is no competition with someone's unique personal essence that they were stamped and branded with when they came into this universe. There's not a single fucking article of clothing. There's not a single crystal out there that will help you get that. Maybe there's not a single candle out there that you could burn that would be able to help you replicate the magic of a unique divine being. And that is why it is so important for you guys to use your discernment. Because if you look hard enough, if you really examine a person, you look into their eyes and you look at their content, you'll be able to see if they're true or fake. You'll be able to see if they're really about this life or if they're pretending. And whether you feel connected with me or not, if you take anything from this video, I hope that you take that you are the one who has the power in your practice. No one can tell you what the fuck you're supposed to be doing. No one can tell you that you should or shouldn't be going in this direction, because no one knows what your lessons need to be. No one knows what your spirit guides are telling you. They can help you, but you're going to make your own decisions. And whether you fail or whether you fly, it's your ride. It's your movie, baby. Don't let anyone else be the director. Don't let anyone else write the story. They are just extras, okay? Remember that. Be safe out here. And I'll see you in my next video. Be blessed.
Pull out the candles, pull out the crystal.